What's up, folks? You join me and Era and Ellie, somewhere back there, and Jess, who is currently in a donut shop buying donuts. We are about to head back from California. We've been out here for a few weeks now, and it's been an awesome trip. Doing lots of filming out here, you know, Tesla semi, that I've lost track, but old Teslas, new Teslas, other cars, talking to friends, seeing other journalists. It's been a lot of fun, really interesting. Definitely want to move out here at some point. There's just so much stuff out here, so many cars. Like I'm distracted by 911 and the reflection of the glass I'm looking at. Anyways, we were heading back to Colorado today. I mean, look at this thing. That's gorgeous. Anyways, we are heading back to Colorado today. Let me talk efficiency. So this is my Model 3 rear-wheel drive 2025 long range, so base model, as many of you are aware. This is what we're looking at. We've been in California for nearly 1,500 miles, and yeah, a lot of that was driving to go meet Kyle and Shoots, and then driving from the upper coast down to the lower coast. So definitely spanned a good chunk of California in this, and my average efficiency was over 4.5 miles per kilowatt hour. Absolutely legendary. Now the lifetime efficiency, not so great. I mean, still good, over 4 miles per kilowatt hour, but this is drastically impacted by my first road trip I did in this car, where the average was like 300 watt hours per mile because of headwind and then a side wind. So I had wind against me both directions of the trip. That really threw off the skew. So we're gonna see what the actual efficiency is for this trip. Ellie, what does the Fox say? Do you even know? Do you know? All right, so resetting this because, on the way out here, we got 224, I think. Or no, it was like 220 watt hours per mile for the road trip out here, which is impressive, but I actually wanted it to be better. We just had a lot of weather, we had rain, we had headwind, and we still were this efficient. Now, we also dropped some elevation, and as we all know, maybe except for Aptera, elevation plays into it. So, we'll see what happens on the way back. I'll have to look up the weather situation going back to Colorado, because statistically, we may have a bit of tailwind, I'm hoping, but with my luck, that won't happen. So we'll see. We will gauge our efficiency, gauge the charging stops, and see what happens. First off, well, we got some donuts, but Jess is grabbing more donuts because we are going to stop into Conduit EV. One of the guys, the co-owners of Conduit EV, has some fish for us. I guess his other company, his employee goes and fishes like every single day off the coast, gets like tuna, yellowtail, all that. So we're gonna go grab fish first and then continue on. You got the goods?
I got the goods.
Okay, now I can go.
That's not even the most expensive I've seen.
It's still expensive.
I saw $6.
What?
I saw $6 the other day.
Oh my gosh. The worst I've seen was near downtown LA, $7.75 per gallon. I mean, it was the only gas station like really close to downtown, so. Extortion. Stop number one, Conduit EV. Well, the shop next to them, because we're picking up fish and trading it for donuts. This all makes sense. But check out the shop cars. This is a sweet rig. Fish acquired, not for the dogs. It's for us. so the car is up to its usual antics. When I put in, well, roughly Richfield, Utah, we're not positive where we'll stop, but maybe Richfield, probably Richfield. It was gonna have us charge coming up here in Temecula at like 19 or 20%, which makes no sense. So I manually told it, skip this, go here, which is also along the route. That's a 250 kilowatt V3. And yeah, we can make it there with 4% on arrival. It's wavered between 3 and 5%. But either way, no matter what, we can make it. So I still don't understand why Tesla's route planner is still so non-perfect. Looks like some traffic as we come through kind of the mountains in eastern LA area, but we can skirt around, way around LA, fortunately, because we're coming from San Diego. I don't know if I mentioned that exactly, but the whole trip will be San Diego to Denver, Colorado, with a stop somewhere in Utah, with an overnight stay. So we'll see. We left with 44%, actually maybe 43%, so definitely not fully charged, had no home charging or anything like that. So it really just was to get in the car and go, see what happens. And even then, it looks like 2 charging stops to get all the way to Richfield, which is like 2/3 of the way, or maybe at least well over halfway. And then maybe 1 charging stop tomorrow to get to Denver. So yeah, efficient car, lots of range, great road tripper. We may want to stop more than the car wants to stop, but at least we have that option, well, options plural, of picking and choosing where we want to stop. We'll see what the conditions are like, probably fairly warm. It's telling me to pay attention. It has gotten an update since our last road trip. So the last road trip out here was about a month ago. And since then, we got FSD 13.2.9, which reduces the nags a little bit. Not drastically, they still are there, but now I can play with the map a little bit, adjust a couple stops, and it's not quite as picky about me paying perfect attention, which is nice, because even if I'm next to the screen, I can still tell what's going on in front of me, and there's a lot of places where it's like clearly a very safe place to do so, especially now that FSD has gotten so good. So we're going to see how FSD does this trip with this new update, if there's any other noticeable changes. But like I said, same old antics. FSD still sometimes goes, right now I'm doing 12 over the speed limit in chill mode, and then sometimes chill mode would be obsessed with being in the right lane, which means being behind a truck doing 10 under the speed limit, and it takes forever to decide to pass it. So it's still not like perfect, but as I've said over and over again, it's still really, really good. It's California, so we had to make an obligatory stop at In-N-Out. Unfortunately, this traffic was getting so bad we were rerouted this way, and now it's saying 0% on arrival. So finally a spicy charging stop as we approach our first stop of the day. Okay, let's go get to the charger with 0%.
Oh my god.
For your first time.
Don't. I have anxiety. Are we gonna make it? Just be honest with me. Be honest.
You're freaked out. I don't think. What's the lowest you've been on an EV?
Like, definitely not lower than 10%, I think.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, yeah, we have 7 miles, almost 8 miles till our charging stop, and we're at 3%. We are climbing elevation, so that's probably why it says we'll get there with -1. Now, I know this car has a buffer, but, don't trust the BMS and all that stuff. I guess we have merch that says that literally down below, but I think it'll be fine. I've done, I think on the range test in this car, I think I did 18 miles below zero. So I'm feeling pretty confident that there's something down there. And yeah, I mean, it's just a little bit of elevation. We're on the highway, we're not doing crazy speeds. I think we just fine. It might, I can't remember, I think it's 0% when it makes you shut off climate. So we'll try to keep it at above 0%. But we may have to have windows down at the very, very end. We'll see. You don't look happy. The camera can't see your face.
I'm unwell.
Well, you have your In-N-Out, you have your Diet Coke, so you can, I don't know.
I'll last getting stranded on the side of the freeway.
Yeah, we'll be fine. 0%. How does it feel?
Not good.
Actually, when you click on it, there's like still a mile range, so.
Oh my god, 1 mile.
But this doesn't account for the buffer.
What if the software update made it so that it does account for the buffer?
No, it's fine. I'll show you Scan My Tesla when we get there. But this is pretty efficient drive. I mean, 4.5-ish miles per kilowatt hour on the drive.
Oh, a downhill, thank God.
And we're gonna coast, do some regen, still have climate all the way down to 0%, which some cars don't.
You're using your cooled seats?
Yeah, I've realized we have plenty of time. So we are regenning, look at that. So we're pulling in to our first charging stop, and probably a somewhat deep one if I had to guess, just so we only need one more stop, I think, before our hotel. So not too bad, eh? You're still alive. All right, she's freaking out because I need to plug my car in. But we definitely had some buffer. Scan My Tesla is actually not connecting for some reason, but plug into 2D here, get this ripping, and then we'll do some route planning. So yeah, this is one of the most northernmost chargers in the LA area, San Bernardino's northernmost location. Burger King, Albertsons Mexican food, that's probably what I would go for. Popeyes, Jack in the Box, and there is a Starbucks right over there. Might pop over there to see about getting some coffee. But let's see, I don't know if the car was actually preconditioning that much because we were such low state of charge, so we may not see peak optimal speeds, but we should still see something decent. Already back up to 1%. Plenty of space. So we'll add charging stops here, and I've set our arrival SoC to 5% because this hotel does have a charger, a destination charger. So if we do, let's see, set arrival, dang it, these buttons are so tiny. That's one bit of beef I have with this screen. So originally when I had plotted this route, it said one stop here where we're at now, and then one more stop right here, Mesquite. If I try to navigate to Mesquite and remove charging stops, let's see, it said I have to stay here and charge deep, but I don't actually think it thinks we can even make that. So we're just gonna add back in the stops as usual. So 2 quicker stops instead of 1 super deep stop. That makes sense to me. All right, well, we got the warning that says busy supercharger station, but what I'm seeing is possibly site level load sharing. We're only at 82 kilowatts, which is okay, but actually still fairly bad, especially for 35%. We do have a bit of a warm battery, which is not surprising because it is nearly 100 degrees out, but we just have nearly enough to continue our trip. Maybe I'll charge a little extra so Jess isn't stressed out again. But looking at the station out here, we actually have a line for the first time I've ever seen. That Tesla just pulled up and has nowhere to plug in. Every other single spot is full. So it may be a combo of site level load sharing and also, well, the car being very hot. It is so toasty. It's so hot my watch hasn't synced. Actually, this watch has been failing me lately, so maybe it is time to retire the Series 7. It's been a devout, good watch, but yeah, every watch has its end day, I guess.
Definitely some kind of load sharing going on. This car just pulled in, and while it was empty, we were back up to 100 kilowatts. And I'm sure we're gonna go right back down as soon as he plugs in. Okay, so Jordan is the master of the Tesla. So anytime he walks away, even if I'm still in the car and I have Tesla on my phone, it thinks that I'm not here and everything shuts off. And I think rather than the load sharing, because this guy just pulled in and the spot was empty for a second, but I'm assuming it's the 100-degree weather and the car running the climate, trying to keep the car cool in this 100-degree weather, because as soon as he left and the climate shut down, we were up to 120 kilowatts.
All right, we have enough energy to continue on our trip with probably a 10% arrival. We'll see if that's actually true. So I will address the trash situation. In-N-Out always hits. Yeah, nothing over here had restrooms available. Like, everything had a code you needed, or the gas station didn't even have restrooms. So, okay, I guess I could buy something from one of these and move on. But, oh, check it out, E-Transit. Maybe this guy wants to plug in. So we're gonna pop over to Starbucks. I can get a bathroom break and a much needed coffee. So we are charged up to about 50%. We'll see what we actually get there with, because this time it was all over the place and eventually led us astray.
Oh my gosh, it's so hot.
It's so hot. I don't think Jess has been in triple digit weather before, so there's a first for everything.
I'm laughing.
But the pups are nice and cool in dog mode at 67 degrees is what it is in there. Hell yeah. Okay, well, after realizing the crime that Starbucks doesn't serve their blonde drip coffee after 10 a.m., maybe because it's already 100 degrees here by 10 a.m., so guess we'll head on to Baker. Not Bakersfield. Big difference. She was also worried it might be Barstow because that triggers her too. She really didn't like that charging stop coming. It was cool to see the world's largest supercharger, but like, we should have just seen it from afar and left.
But it's like, I don't know, is it cool to see like the world's largest pumpkin if it's like moldy and disheveled?
True. Okay, we have 2 hours till our next stop. 126 miles. We're at 48% state of charge. We're looking at 240 watt-hours per mile and a giant HRV. It says we'll get there 10%. What do you think?
I trust it.
You trust it? Okay. I think we'll get there at 11%.
Okay, I think we're gonna get there at 9.
Okay. We'll see.
Just to wager.
We'll find out if the car is too optimistic or not realistic enough.
I'll wager my right arm.
But check out the full supercharger, and the van is charging. That's so cool. The E-Transit I saw. All right, up into the mountains we go. Okay, made it to Baker with another huge, awesome charging park. And this is a double, triple, I lost count. So many canopies, but check this out. We have 66 available, no, 70 available superchargers. Meanwhile, there's a line of 5 cars to get into the EA stations, which have 8 charging stalls, but still a line. While we have our choice. We'd be waiting in line for like 20 minutes if we weren't in a Tesla. How's that? So we'll just pull in right here and not get hit by a 4Runner. And yeah, rip a nice, good charge. This was well over 4.5 miles per kilowatt hour. Actually, maybe, I don't know, 216 watt-hours per mile is what we did on this drive. So should be good. That's a nice new Model Y.
Yeah.
It's the new black color. But yeah, our trip average is 4.5 miles per kilowatt hour, just about there. And gross. We'll plug in and see what we do. All right, we didn't see any preconditioning on that run. Oh wait, I just backed into a V2 charger. That could have been a faux pas. All right, balmy 105 degrees. Let's see if oh, am I not? Gosh, dang it. They're up on this giant pedestal and my car is not close enough. It's ridiculous. Okay, third tries a charm. That should work. Beautiful. So yeah, I guess we only have 2 cars in line now. That's good. But plenty of superchargers. However, all of those over there are V2s. So all these people, especially right there where there's all those people next to each other, they're all like sharing power. I genuinely don't know how many Tesla drivers know to avoid the V2s, whereas over here we have all the V3s, which have so much space. No one's using these. It's so funny. But yes, I'm sitting here in the shade and I am so hot. It is 105 degrees, but we have ramped up to a perfect 250 kilowatts. So yeah, should be a great charge now. We'll see what the facilities are like. Really glad there's shade, because in the shade, it still feels, my watch still isn't working. This watch has seen better days. Look, 22% battery, and it's only 4 p.m. That's crazy. So yeah, we will continue on and see how much we need to charge for. Investigating the EA situation over here. This is, yeah, again, 70, 80, 90, I don't really know, 90 something chargers over here for Teslas, and then 8 chargers for EA, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, no, 12 EA chargers. But that one right there is broken. What are we dealing with over here? This one's broken. This one's broken. And wait, are they really half broken? We have this one over here, which is broken. Oh my gosh. And then one more over here that I think is broken. All right, I was just minding my own business charging here, and Quentin pulled up in his awesome Model X, by the way.
Yeah.
Super clean.
One of two.
One of two.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
What's the story?
Well, I mean, so, you know, as I was saying off camera, you know, my wife and I, like, we're EV enthusiasts. I kind of brought her in to that world, but before then, you know, it was really just me. And when the Model 3 came out, okay, quick story really quickly. Quick story. So I had a Chevy Impala, 10th generation, basically the ones you see driving around right now. It was 2014. And I kind of had like a liking for EVs, but I didn't really look into them back at those days. So what I did was this. I was going to work one day when I was still in the military, and I had my lunch on the passenger seat. I'm driving by myself, and my lunch spilled over as I was on my way to work, and my orange fell out and fell to the floor. While I was driving, I could hear the orange rolling back and forth.
Oh, geez.
And it started getting on my nerves, and I was like, oh, you know what? Maybe I can just reach out and grab it just really quickly. So kind of did that 1, 2, 3 go, and I reached down to grab the orange, and my thigh got pinched between the seat and the bottom of the steering wheel.
Oh.
At that very moment, the car swerved towards the guardrail.
Oh.
In that one moment. And I grabbed the orange, and I came up, got control of the car, and then I looked at the orange and I thought, like, man, I almost died for a freaking orange. So then I told myself, like, you know what? Don't Teslas drive themselves? And that was the awakening moment. So I went home, I did some research, found out that, you know, there was some, the Model 3 was not out yet, but there were Model S's and X's around. Did some research. Turns out at that exact moment when I did research, they were just about to unveil the Model 3. So I thought, okay, well, maybe I can look into that. So the unveiling happened. I loved the car, placed my order. I was one of the first in Hawaii to get the Model 3.
Nice.
Yes, absolutely. And Tesla told me that at the delivery center.
Okay.
Fun fact, the delivery manager, her name was Tess.
Nice.
But anyway, I digress. So that's how it all started. From that point on, my property in Hawaii, you know, we have the solar, now we have Tesla Powerwalls. We still own that property, even though we live in Vegas.
Yeah.
We jump back and forth. But since then, yes, it's been a huge blast. You know, we've owned 4 Teslas since then, 6 if you're going to count the Powerwalls. And, you know, trust me, you know, I'm an EV enthusiast. I love EVs. I want to see the world full of EVs.
Right.
But at the same time, my wife she's straight up Tesla or bust. It doesn't matter what I tell her. Like, you know, she loves your guys' channel, just like I do. But if I tell her, like, hey, look what Jordan's driving, look what Kyle's driving, and she's like, yeah, it's not a Tesla. So
I mean, we've been seeing this line queuing up here the whole time we've been here.
Right.
Because there's 12 chargers over there, 5 of them are broken.
See, that's the problem. But you know what? Iona's going to fix that.
Iona's going to fix that.
You know, I've been watching Kyle run around. He and Alyssa, they're going out. You know, they're doing the hunting for us.
Yep.
You know, I can see some of the planned areas popping up on PlugShare. Yep. But even still, you know, this is going to happen, and it looks to me like Ayana's doing it right. You know, and you can tell from the comment section and things like that, people agree with that.
Yeah.
You know,
that's gonna be awesome.
Everyone loves Tesla. You know, Tesla has spearheaded this entire situation, but it is good to see a company that doesn't do just the bare minimum. You know, adding amenities, adding charging solar canopies. Yep. Everything's being added in that people want. Yep. And so this is going to be a huge game changer. I cannot wait to see the whole thing unfold. So I'll be watching it on Out of Spec, of course.
Yeah. Well, dude, awesome to run into you, and safe travels.
Thank you, man.
All right, we charged to 80%. Didn't really mean to, but we did. That's awesome, because we ran into some, new friends, Quentin and Jessa and Tessa, which she claims Tessa was named after Tesla because he likes Tesla so much, but he says because, it's her name with a different letter. I don't know. Either way, awesome to see fun people road tripping out and enjoying their cars. Honestly, it doesn't really matter what car you have as long as you enjoy it. A lot of people over there probably not happy with the EA situation, but still love their car. So that's what matters. But awesome charging experience right there. Love the canopies, especially with it being 110 degrees. Oh my gosh. So we're gonna get out of this heat. Fortunately, our final destination, I love that it tells you weather on arrival, 65 degrees in Richfield. That's gonna be amazing. But before that, we have one more charging stop in St. George. So that's gonna be a hot one as well. But then that should be around sunset. So should be a bit cooler, a bit nicer. And that's about it. Yeah, it was gonna be a lower arrival. Now we don't have to make that charge quite as long. So it wasn't like we completely missed our time, but no, I think we go, right. Wow, this road is being redone and it's super weird right now. All right, strap in. Just a quick stop to take in the beautiful views. Just went through that canyon right there, which is always a pleasure. Oh, camera got dirty. But yeah, just went through the canyon, which is always gorgeous. Everything's gorgeous out here. I do love, well, actually, we're technically in the brief corner of Arizona, but I do love this whole area. Come on. Aaron, come on. Up. We're almost there. Pulling off on another exit, another charging stop, second charging stop of the day, and this is the St. George Supercharger. So kind of southern part of St. George. Love St. George. Beautiful last light of sunset over there. How was your drive?
Good.
You had a mixture of FSD and also just manual driving because it got kind of annoying with some of the traffic.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do, you know, basically if you put it in hurry mode, sometimes it'll go really fast, like uncomfortably so, because we saw a lot of cops out, but also you still want it to do the aggressive maneuvering in traffic. So I do wish those are two separate settings. I know you can go into hurry mode and then back down the speed, but you have to do that every time it changes speed, or at least every time it detects a new speed limit. So not the most ideal circumstance, but yeah, nicely done. 230 watt hours per mile since the last charge, so just a hair under 4.5 miles per kilowatt hour, and that's about what we're looking at for the entire trip so far. We did have, like I said, some headwind, but the last stretch mostly just zero wind, which is nice, and 100 degrees. Even now at nearly 8 p.m. Well, actually almost,
Oh my gosh.
it's 9 p.m. because we just crossed the time zone, but Tesla hasn't recognized that, I guess, yet. But it's actually 9 p.m. Still 100 degrees. That's totally wild. There's the chargers over there. So we'll do a charge here, and this is our last charge of the day before we get to Richfield. Richfield. All right. Get plugged in, and we'll basically sit here to charge into the night. I mean, it doesn't mean it's a long charge, it just means we're literally at the last few bits of daylight. There is a charging cable on the ground there, which could mean that post is broken. That's usually what people do to signify a post is broken. But sometimes it just means they didn't put it in the holster, because these holsters aren't always the best. So, not sure which way is which. The car would have notified us if there was a station identified as out on the Tesla app, but in this case, we're not really sure. I guess we could have tried it, but we just wanted to charge and get going. 7-second handshake is fantastic. Ellie loves it. And we are probably ripping. I don't know, I'll check the car now. Well, I'm gonna try my luck with some nearby place for amenities restrooms, because a lot of chargers like this don't really have options, which is frustrating. I just think Iona's really solved it. We'll see how quickly they ramp up in places like this, but yeah, it's not even that late at night. It's like I said, 9 p.m. So the museum's closed, which is technically the parking lot this charger's in. There is a hotel over here, which I might try my luck at, or there's Cracker Barrel. Yeah, I don't know. All right, so 68%, 8% arrival, so roughly 60% needed to make this next stretch of 167 miles, according to the car. So we'll see. The last stretch, we arrived here, I don't think I mentioned that, we arrived here with 15%. The car wavered, dropped it down to 5% arrival, added another charging stop, and then realized, wait, no, I can make it, and then we got here at 15%. So it's like the car didn't even know what was happening. Like I said, we didn't have much wind, but the speeds were high enough to that where it should have been more accurate. So we'll see if this is accurate. Whether it's 8% or less or more, I have no idea. But we do have a V2 supercharger at the hotel, only 4 stalls. But, I mean, those are rarely taken up. And if someone charges there, it's not like they could hog it all night. So we will squeeze in a charge at the hotel, probably first thing in the morning. Pulling up to what looks like a Super 8, but that's actually the sign for what we just passed. It is a beautiful Holiday Inn Express, and someone just standing out there.
Walking where I needed to go and get in. Thank you.
There are a couple, well, 4 level or version 2 superchargers, yeah, we'll just charge up a little bit while we check in, and then finish charging in the morning. One person's plugged in here. And nice work. Did, even with the Utah speeds of 80 plus miles an hour, still nearly 4 miles per kilowatt hour. A little bit worse because we did gain elevation, but we're still at 238 watt hours per mile for the entire trip back. It is late, so I think we'll just, 630 miles in, so we're well over halfway, and call it there. All right, so I just checked the app and I was reminded that version 2 superchargers aren't actually that bad. I mean, because of Tesla's abysmal charging curve, you only get, above 150 for a little bit of the first third of the charge. And then it tapers off maybe more mildly because maybe the car is less hot. I don't really know all the logic that goes into it, but I'm at 50%, still doing 115 kilowatts. Or nears makes no difference. Double check here. Yeah, so over 100 kilowatts at 53%. So fantastic. I'm gonna pull it off now and just let it sit overnight, with some Sentry mode action. We'll probably get out in the morning with 50%, and then I'll plug in the morning and get the, top charge nice and deep. Come on. Okay, well, maybe that just won't sit there. Well, oldie but goodie. So we'll go out and charge in the morning, get ourselves more juice. If we navigate to Arvada, Colorado, with 50%, it has a stop in Green River and then to Rifle. But I think with 100%, we won't have to charge more than once. That's awesome. Tomorrow will be great. All right, so I can genuinely recommend this place. Well, I guess with a caveat. If you're a Tesla driver, you have this great little V2 setup here. Again, only 4 stalls. Power sharing is a thing, but yeah, we just popped out here. Well, we got in last night, did a bit of a charge from like 6% to 50%, and then this morning finished it. Put on the charger, went and had breakfast, packed up. And by the time we were ready to leave, 97%. So that's what we're leaving with. And yeah, we should only have supposedly 1 actual charging stop. The car is now saying 2, but on the route planner on the app it said 1. So yeah, see, why in the world would we stop at 63% to charge? That makes no sense. So
For that long.
yeah, that's crazy. So I don't know who's right. It's crazy that the car and the phone app, which is using the car, have completely different logic. So we'll see what happens. Either way, should be, a bit of a shorter day. How would you rate breakfast?
Oh my gosh, I love a economy hotel continental breakfast. Well, I don't know why, it just hits different.
Same, but a lot of times it's really mid and you're like, well, that's okay.
Yeah, the cold eggs weren't that good,
but this one was actually really good.
Yeah.
I don't know what their secret is, or what they're putting in the food that makes us feel that way, but yeah. So can recommend this hotel. Unlike, so the Green River one, St. George, I get this mixed up. St. George had a mediocre breakfast. I tried it.
It had the waffle machine, and that was about the only highlight.
Yeah. So this one, yeah, better experience. So we'll just continue on today. Probably another warm day if I had to guess. It already feels warm outside. So we'll see. Maybe the mountains will cool it off. Okay, so while I praise the software heavily in this car, it is good software. The route planning logic, as I mentioned every single road trip, just has issues. I don't know exactly why, but the car, as I said literally 3 minutes ago in the parking lot, said we had to stop in Green River at 63% charge and then go to Rifle. And it would get us home at like 4:30. By me manually adding the parachute charger, it now says 1 stop and we're home at 4. So again, that makes, why would it add 2 completely like non-ideal stops, non-efficient stops instead of the 1 proper one? I have no idea. So we'll see. It's a 1-stop day, although I have a feeling we might want to stop more than once for ourselves, for the dogs. So we'll see. But it helps that you can pick and choose your stops not around chargers if you have to. So this is a great option. Past the summit of, well, I forget what the summit's called, but the pass that goes after Richfield before Green River, nearly 7,000 feet elevation is where we're at right now. And route planner really maybe doesn't fully understand elevation. I know they take into account elevation, but it said 22% on arrival, crept up to 23%. It just went all the way down gradually to 13% on arrival, but now it's starting to climb back up. So I guess we'll see what the truth is, because I'm still confused why the car and the phone apps, which both should be the same route planner, said different things. And maybe it knows more than it's leading on to. It just didn't present that correctly in here. I still think we can make it to Parachute just fine. I mean, it's only 260 something miles, which is easily doable at 97%, even with some elevation, but we'll see. And here we are getting ready to pass through Green River, well, around Green River, because we're not stopping to charge like the route planner originally thought. Always a good feeling to skip Green River. It's fine, there's chargers there, which is great for both types of companies and both types of charging, but it's never been the greatest experience in my experience. We are just 5 minutes from Parachute, which is a charger I like, other than the fact of it not having many amenities. And the car did just say preconditioning battery for fast charging. Looks like it's at 46.8 degrees Celsius, so I think it's actually cooling the battery for fast charging, whereas a lot of times in my ownership of the car, it's warmed it because we've gone through winter and spring and such, but now it's trying to keep it cool so we can hopefully get some decent juice into this thing. We're arriving with 18 roughly percent. So yeah, once again, the car went down to 13 its projection, up to 23. We're arriving right in the middle at 18, which is great, but also I don't understand why the original route planner said we had to go to Green River at 63% and then skip this to go to Rifle. None of that made sense. We could actually make it to Rifle now, but we've been driving for 4 hours, so I need to take a break. And this one, let's take a break. How are the dogs doing? Bored?
Probably.
Well, not too long until we're back home. But efficiency-wise, I also want to look at this. Fantastic. I mean, 200 miles what we just passed, so I guess almost 3 hours for this drive. We did take a little stop shortly after we left the hotel, so 215 miles per mile, that's like 4.7, I don't know, something like that. High miles per kilowatt hour is what that is. And yeah, still just a hair under 4.5 on the trip, and that's impressive given that we've climbed like well over 5,000 feet elevation, and we actually had some headwind. Back in Green River, we had about 15 miles an hour headwind. It was short-lived. Otherwise, it's been completely still, which is nice. So let's go charge by the Dinosaur and Parachute, and that should be the last charging stop of the trip. This is another example of the car not actually following its own nav. It just took a completely different route, and it turns into what they call dog mode when it gets to a destination. Just kind of wandering around and figuring out what to do. And it's kind of funny to see what it actually does. It looks like it brought us over to the chargers. How much you want to bet it noses into one? Oh, it might back in. Wow. Look at this. Such luxury, but also, what kind of parking job is that?
It kind of made it in the lines.
It's roughly in the lines. I'm gonna leave it, get a photo. But look at that. What is that excuse? That is horrible. All right, plugging in. Like I said, 18%. Oh, there's definitely a bit of a breeze. Okay, this is really like terrible part. I thought it was maybe gonna put us closer to the station, but it's actually even further away. It'll still reach, but yeah, what in the world? This deserves a photo for sure. Okay, we should be able to ramp up here, and also going to turn on dog mode, and we should see good temperatures. It was preconditioning, it was doing everything it needed, and yeah, instantly, I mean within seconds. Handshake time within like what, 6 seconds, and then 250 kilowatts within a few more seconds. If we were on EA, it would still be figuring out what to do. So love it. Love the vertical integration, and we don't need to charge too much. We only have, well, 200 miles to go, so I guess we do need to charge a decent amount. It says 13 minutes. We'll see how accurate that is. If we leave at 124, then we know it's accurate, but I'll believe it when I see it. But it already says we've charged 2 kilowatt hours. That's awesome. If only it held this deeper. If only this had a better charging curve. All right, we've got way more than enough energy. That's fine. It's nice to arrive home not dead. Ugh. It is actually windy. We'll just see if that's headwind, tailwind, crosswind. I don't know. We charged to almost 80. 77, 200 miles to get us down to home to 23%. And we go. By the way, right there is a little coffee shop cafe thing. Only open till 2 p.m., which is probably why I've never been, because I'm usually here at horrible hours or something. and it's pretty decent. I thought your latte was good.
Oh, the coffee was so good.
Wait,
you want to sip my latte?
Yeah. The breakfast the breakfast burritos a bit potatoy, which depends how you like potatoes. But totally decent, I think. Maybe a little bit overpriced. I don't know. They're like the only option around here, so I guess I'll pay a little extra for that. And it still feels better than McDonald's over there, which is a genuine hike. Like, it seems close on the map, but it's really hard to get to. So, continuing on, I'll check on the weather, check on the wind, get back to you guys. Until then, this is the beautiful scenery of Western Colorado. All right, unexpected stop. Well, kind of expected because 3.5 hours, but this one's definitely a bit less efficient. We climbed elevation, it got cold, we got rain, we got wind. Still happy with the efficiency on the road trip overall, but always be charging, as we say. So I'm gonna go ahead and plug in here just while we do a really quick dog walk, bathroom break. And yeah, I just didn't even realize there was chargers here, even though we charged here on the way out to California, but that was a month ago. So all right, feels great. It's finally cool out, 77 degrees. Just a really quick charge for like 5 minutes, gained 15%. Battery wasn't even preconditioned, who cares? That's 15% higher on arrival. Hi. Pulling up to basically the final area in Boulder, and 10 miles per kilowatt hour. Excellent job. Not that you had much to do with that. Obviously, going down in elevation since that last charging stop quite a bit. And as I mentioned, elevation matters a lot. Some companies maybe don't fully understand that. It's fine. Subtle jab at Tara. We can all laugh. But comes to just over 1,100 miles on the trip from San Diego up to our stop to get fish, over through Utah, Colorado, all the way here over the mountains to, yeah, I'm really impressed with that. That is 4.5 miles per kilowatt hour, and that is with gaining over 5,000 feet of elevation, with some wind and rain, with super hot temperatures and the AC blasting. That's genuinely really good. So we used 250 kilowatt hours, so just over a Hummer EV battery to go super far. So that's great efficiency, great experience overall. What do you think we spent on fuel going from California to here?
$60.
It was actually like 100. Oh. But $100 to do what would have been like probably 580,000
with my 4Runner.
I'd get maybe high hundreds. So like charging out in the wild is obviously not nearly as cheap as charging at home, but still having a really efficient car makes for really cheap charging, relatively speaking. So it'd still be comparable or even cheaper to a Prius. But then we had, you know, a Model 3, which I think is mostly a better car, maybe depending on what you're looking for. But I thought it was a pretty good trip. How'd you feel about first road trip with, it wasn't your first road trip with this car. We of course did that before, but it was the first road trip with all four of us.
All four of us.
With the dogs.
And I think more driving on my end.
Yeah.
No, I love it. It really, like, I don't know how to describe it, how it works. Like, I would think that the FSD would make it feel longer because you're bored. Like, I've heard people say that. But in reality, like, it flew by, I think, like, more so than it does when I'm driving. So yeah, and like the car's so comfortable. I'm like, don't have back pain, like my legs weren't going like they aren't numb, I wasn't cramping, like it just, yeah, the whole thing, it was like comfort, efficiency, it's like everything you could ask for. The dogs were happily asleep in the back the entire time, like never became restless.
Yep.
They were happy as a clam.
Yeah. So FSD was great to have. We used it pretty much this entire road trip, out and also back, but also while we were in California. Not perfect. We still need to do some video. Maybe we can link in Andreas and do like a real like FSD test around the city to explain the things we're not happy with about it.
Yeah, all the times that it could have gotten me a ticket or killed me is the video that I feel like I want to make.
Right, yeah. It did try to run a red light. That was crazy.
Yeah.
But the dogs are ready to be back. They're tired of the car, I'm sure. But it was a great time and everyone's happy. Dog mode's great. Super efficient car. FSD was awesome. We're all happy, but also it's a long drive. So yeah.
I'm ready to go eat some bluefin tuna sashimi. Shout out to Brian.
Yeah, time to eat this actual sushi we got. See y'all next one.